As you wish.
Alright, what was I doing?
What is it?
Hmm?
Yes?
How fares your search?
I want to discuss the Animancy hearings at the palace.
What of them?
The dozens have accepted me into their delegation.
Of all the groups, it is the dozens that the Duke fears most. If you have their ear, you will most certainly have Avar's. You need waste no more time here. Get to the palace. Make your case to the Duke. With him on our side, all of Deerwood can be mobilized against the Leaden Key, and Theos can be rooted out. I only wish I could be there to see it. There is a very old bottle of a very good brandy that I have been saving for a special day. If you hurry back afterward, there may be a little left for you. Off with you. You're going to do very well in there.
If I'm going to do this for you, I think it's time you told me everything about Theos.
I've told you everything you need to know.
But not everything.
It's only right that you know everything. When I was younger, before Dunreed Row, I had many suitors. These were fine-looking men of good stock. But I could see their thoughts, and they were unimpressive. Boys' thoughts. I toyed with their affections. I resented all of them. And then I met a man whose mind was a mystery to me. But he understood me. He knew me at a glance, told me things I didn't know about myself. He was neither handsome nor charming, but he was all I ever wanted.
You're talking about Theos.
We made a game of my gift. He would ask me about people, and I would tell him what they were thinking. Sometimes the information was very sensitive. And then one day he asked me if I trusted him. I said I did. Next I knew I was donning a silver mask and swearing oaths to Woodica. Using my gift for the leaden key still felt like a game to me, so I did it. I did it because it pleased him.
But it didn't last.
I don't like living in the dark. It's a powerless, hopeless feeling. Every day I did things without knowing their purpose. Every day I loved a man without knowing his thoughts of me. I sensed that there were things he wanted to tell me. I sensed that he knew everything the leaden key was created to hide. But Theos was unyielding. One day I disappeared without a word. He would kill me for it, and I knew that. It's their rule. I just wanted to see him plunge the knife, because then I would know. But the day never came. He has left me to wonder. I have devoted my years to learning everything I could about him, in hopes I would find some clue as to who he really was, and why he felt he had to keep his secrets locked away. I have precious little to show for it. Just an old woman nagged by old thoughts. And that is truly everything I can tell you about Theos. I hope you will accept this embarrassing story as a show of my good faith.
First fires.
Hail and well met.
Every day, we get more from the hinterlands pouring into Defiance Bay. Keeps us on watch. It does. You look like you recently arrived yourself. Told me about the knights. No. I'm looking for information on Orn. Filthy little flea picker. What did you want to know? Do you know where he is? Rumors say he fled to the catacombs after he murdered the knight. As much as I'd love to string him up, I don't have anyone I can spare to go crawling in that filth to look for him. That's all I wanted to know. Right, what can I do for you? That's it.
Yes.
Am I in the wrong? I think I'm in the wrong fucking area. Yeah, I am. Oh, yeah. This guy at? Oh, right here, okay. Well, that sounds like way too goddamn loud.
Love. Death to our enemies. course.
I'm not going anywhere like this.
Hail, traveler.
Any news to share? Are you here to see the Ducal Palace? Yeah, that's fine. I don't give a shit about this bitch.
Well,
Go to the upper floor. Not out the side door. Oh. The room below is animated amidst a heated debate. All the representative groups are easily discerned in the crowd. Crucible Knights, stiff in their noisy armor, sit in one section. In another are well-dressed members of House Dominel, casual, watching with a predator's interest. Still elsewhere are the ramshackle dozens, who have made no special effort to dress up for their liege lord. Interspersed are animancers in their academic robes, with expressions either sour or concerned.
Well then, answer me this, Master Barash. If you Animancers represent our best hope to cure the legacy, what progress can you demonstrate?
As I've said, it isn't about progress, it's about potential.
My house would agree, Your Grace. We see great potential in its future.
and I suppose your blazing profits during the legacy don't have nothing to do with that, do they, Dominel? You can't have it both ways no more! Animancy goes, or this country goes!
So you admit, Master Barask, that Animancy is no closer to stopping the legacy than it ever was.
No, we've had many promising experiments. Cadman Azo has shown...
Cadman Azo murdered a child. For a complete failure. We should be hanging him right now for what he done. The dozens won't stand for it.
The experiment failed, yes, but his work...
His work was sabotaged.
Ah, our new delegate from the dozens. What makes you say sabotage?
I met a false patient in the sanitarium who had tempoed with Azo's machinery.
The fuck's that even matter? These are people who would toy with the lives of our children.
There we go.
Indeed. Even assuming there was sabotage, is this Animancer Azo not still accountable here?
Yes, he is. Cadman Azo's ambitions exceeded his ethics. After the fuss we saw at the sanitarium, I couldn't agree more.
Exactly. Look at what happened in Heritage Hill. Our supposed protectors from Crucible Keep can't even clean up the messes Animancy leaves.
Your Grace, we'd have a much easier time of it if our knights weren't so occupied trying to keep their organization from igniting a revolution on our very doorstep.
Heritage Hill is blood on your hands, Justicia. You turn a blind eye, and look what happens.
I've been to Heritage Hill since the quarantine. Though the knights were unable to control the damage, it was not animancy, but an ancient machine that caused it.
You've some strange taste in travels, friend. The height of your tales expands with every breath.
Ask around. When I see problems, I take matters into my own hands.
I had heard whispers of a new delegate set to attend today's hearing. I was told to expect threats and intimidation, which is nothing new here, as you can see. Very well. Perhaps you are the sort. Tell us what you saw in Heritage Hill.
Tirnaudeth house houses an Anguithan machine that holds dominion over the flow of souls. It was this machine that made the district undead. Do you think that was the machine's purpose? Or just a dire side effect? But then, why would the Anguithans build such a machine at all?
Even if it is as you say, we have testimony that a group of animancers had been spending time there. Surely their tinkering had something to do with this.
There's no denying they were studying dangerous machinery they did not understand.
But the very purpose of these experiments is to understand. So these dangerous things can be used responsibly.
This is what it comes down to, Your Grace. Whatever their intentions, Animancy's a pox. It makes a fucking wreck of everything. We all know what Widewind's legacy's really about. And it ain't about some sparkling saint from Creed Ceres who's mad because he took a stroll down the wrong bridge. It's about a bunch of so-called intellectuals fucking with the natural order while the rest of us gotta suffer for it.
Is it, though? Should we not take the time to reach a clear conclusion? I mean, what proof do we have?
My son and daughter are buried beneath the floor of my house. We don't own no land, so that's where we lay them. My son. My wife let him slip when she was bathing him. Got water in his lungs he couldn't cough up. My daughter? We put her to bed one night, and the next morning she wasn't breathing. This Hollowborn thing, it ain't ending. And it ain't ending because we still let these charlatans play God. There's your proof, you damn copper fucker!
Enough, Adric. Lady Dominel makes a point. If it's animancy, then why do the other states that permit the practice not suffer the same fate? Who among us can say he truly understands why the legacy has taken hold here?
I can. Widewind's legacy is the creation of the Leaden Key. Caedmon Ozo's downfall was their work, as was the tower in Heritage Hill. They want you to do this. They want Animancy to fall. I have seen them in the ruins of Ire Glanfoth, operating machines that disrupt and redirect the flow of souls near towns like Gilded Vale and Direford, where the legacy is universal. As a watcher, I have heard their dead confess their plot. They are stealing the souls of the unborn.
Beasts. Another lunatic at the hearing. Did you remember to lock your sanitarium before you left, Master Barask?
Birth your invalids until your womb dries, for all I care. The rest of these people will hear the truth.
You must know, friend, that the Leaden Key is a mantle for small-time ruffians and children at play. I'm not saying you're a liar. Not yet. But you'd better start making sense of all this. Help us believe you.
Let's say a lord is cuckolded by his wife. If he tells her to stop, she'll only want her lover more. But if he spreads rumor that her lover has just visited a brothel and inquired a pox on his loins, she'll end it on her own.
I don't see what some rich lord's got to do with any of this.
Look, the wife is Direwood, the lord is the Leaden Key, the airfare is Animancy. Get it?
You're making less sense now than you was when you started. You done talking yet?
You've made an unexpected case, friend. I'll say that much. It seems we have a new possibility to consider, at the very least. How was it you came to learn all this?
I took a personal interest in the matter and tried to learn what I could.
Indeed. This land is foreign to you, unless I miss my guess. Your efforts on its behalf are to be commended. But these hearings are about more than Widewind's legacy, even though that is our most pressing concern. Let's say for the moment that I were to take you at your word that our friends in Brackenbury Sanitarium and their peers bear no responsibility for this curse upon my country. I'm curious, what would you do if you were in my position?
Okay, I don't know what the evil answer is here. Like, it seems like the evil answer would be, yeah, fuck them, lock them up, but they're necromancers. Locking up the necromancers is not the evil thing to do. Animancy should be studied. If you don't, someone else will, and they will wield great power over you. Animancers serve their own ambitions and their own purses. Giving them this power is like setting a child loose in an armory.
Very well. That is all I wish to hear. Not just from you, but from everyone. Many days we've been at this. It is time we put it to rest. I want to thank the delegations for helping me collect my thoughts. And our new delegate, who, if nothing else, has made this final day a little more interesting. The time has come to choose a direction for the Deerwood. I am ready to make my pronouncement. Ramir D. Barash, representing the interests of Animancers in Deerwood, step forward.
Your Grace.
The arguments for and against Animancy are both strong in their own way. I must be careful in my judgment.
Forgive me, Your Grace. We will accept no judgment but our own.
What's he doing? No! Avenge the Duke!
No, wait!
Stop this at once!
I've given you every chance to end this pursuit. Shall I end it for you? Another time. I am already late.
The words, "Shall I end it for you," ring in your ears. You find yourself gasping for breath. Struggling to keep your own balance, you drop to a knee and watch as Theos hurries out the building. The world dims around you, the screams and clashing of weapons fading to silence. All that remains are the words, "Shall I end it for you?"
Shall I end it for you?
Theos stands at a pulpit high above an assembly of robed onlookers, you among them, clustered around a wide circular pit of carved stone. He addresses a woman bound backward over a large iron wheel overlooking the great stone maw. Many of the woman's fingers and toes are severed, and the bottoms of her feet are charred black. The skin on one side of her face looks like melted candle wax, black, red, and seeping, and the angle of her back suggests a spine in ruins. Yet for all of that, her expression betrays little of her anguish.
I am already at peace, Grand Inquisitor. Are you?
Her eyes are barely open, and her words come between strangled breaths, but they are steady and unbroken.
So be it. If you desire no end, you shall have none. I find you guilty of heresy. May the eternal prison bar your soul from passage, for it is beyond redemption.
You open your eyes to the beamed ceiling of the palace's grand entry hall. The clangs of metal striking metal waft in from outside alongside the cries of the injured as you stagger to your feet. Theos is gone. Disturbed one, I hope you're fit to walk because we can't stay here. Lady Webb, she's the only. She must be told. She'll know what to do. Please find her. Tell her everything. Lady Webb lies still in her bed, an ornate cushion propping her back upright. The blood pooled beneath a gash in her chest is tacky and nearly dry. A shattered glass rests on the floor beneath her dangling hand. You can feel the faint aura of her fading essence in your ken. Across the room, the door opens behind a patient, steady push. Into the room walks Theos, the floorboards creaking beneath deliberate steps. You wait until the last of the brandy has trickled down your throat before you speak. I was a fool to think I could tame these people. You came closer than most. A fine epitaph. No worse than any. You are concentrating, focusing with all of your energy. It feels as though you are diving into a stone wall over and over. But it cracks suddenly, unexpectedly, allowing the vaguest wisp of a thought to leak through.
What's in Twin Elms?
Did you pull that from my thoughts?
I've had time to practice.
Ah.
He walks over to a small table and raises a half-empty brandy to eye level. He seems to approve before reaching for an empty glass.
I was saving that for someone.
Pity. You know this is how it has to be.
He draws a long curved knife, smeared with fresh blood. With his left hand, he gently pins your sternum as he raises the knife in the other, its point dangling above your heart.
Prove it.
Theo slips the knife between your ribs and pushes it through. Layers of tissue separate with brittle, papery stiffness, and blood wells up around the blade. A pulse of reflex causes you to drop your glass to the floor, and you hear it shatter. With the last of your strength, you take his knife hand in both of yours, a question radiant in your mind. For an instant, to your great surprise, the pathway to his mind is left open to you unguarded. And the answer comes, simple, cataclysmic in its reordering of your thoughts. As Lady Webb, you feel as though you have an answer you've searched for all your life, but in your own mind, her understanding lies just beyond your reach. You look at Theos with the wide eyes of someone seeing for the first time, and draw your last breath as a black velvety darkness descends over you.
Smoke rises above the city walls in billowing plumes that blacken the sky like a storm. Behind the walls, the riots rage on. Known patrons of Animancy are forced into hiding as looters ransack their estates and make off with their possessions. Animancers are torn away from their families and dragged from their homes to be stoned to death in the streets. Word had spread immediately that Duke Avar had been assassinated, and that an Animancer was to blame. The city wasted little time in exacting revenge, and little effort into evaluating guilt. In the center of it all,
Brackenbury Sanitarium burned. And down the lane, Hodred House, the last bastion of stability in the Deerwood, had fallen silent. Now safely outside the city gate, your path points eastward to Twin Elms, where Theos is bound, for reasons that remain mysterious as the Leaden Key itself.
Alright. I need to go to Twin Elms. I don't see Twin Elms.
Please stop. I need to tell you something.
Go ahead.
I have not been entirely honest about my motives for traveling with you up to this point. When I finished my training in Adir, I was introduced to an organization. All I knew was that they were opposed to the unchecked spread of animancy, and that they could guarantee me postings far away from the Seathwood my father and his Earl. At that time, it was enough. In the early years, I thought of them as many things. Hooded men, prudent teachers, the Leaden Key. Their rules were strict, but their guidance was clear. I sincerely believed they wanted to keep Kith from the folly of their own foolish ambitions. I came to the Deerwood a little over a year ago. My orders were to gather information on animancy in the region. A senior contact met with me every few months to receive my reports and issue new leads. She sent me to Gilded Vale to keep an eye on events surrounding the local lord, but I lost track of her shortly after that. I don't know if she was reassigned, killed, or sacrificed, the way you saw. By the time you met me, I'd been on my own for a couple of months.
And you thought I'd make an easy target.
No, that's not it, I swear. I needed some kind of direction. And after that scrape with the locals, I was ready to get out of town. But then you mentioned that you'd survived that Beowick, and I thought you might be able to put me back on the Leaden Key's trail. And I was correct in a way. What we found wasn't what I expected. I knew the Leaden Key was trying to stop animancy, but I didn't realize how far they'd gone. Murder, sabotage, abandoning entire districts to shambling horrors. And now the whole city is up in flames. I'm still not sure about animancy, but I know I've been following the wrong master. Please, accept my apology, and my service. Let me fight with you to stop Theos.
As long as you don't forget who's in charge, I'm keeping a close eye on you.
Of course. I shall follow your lead.
I probably should have told him to leave, but I'm at the end of the game. I don't want to fucking go create another party member. Okay. Elms Reach. I'm going to Twin Elms. It's got to be there. Which is Stonewall. He arrives at last. Well, well, well. Finally. You should have remained in Defiance Bay, but I'm glad you didn't have better sense. I've looked forward to this since you got in our way. The more screaming, the better. I've built a reputation around that. Do you want to see it for yourself? Yes, I've heard. I've heard it too. Kills without thinking twice, this one. By the flame, Nail D, let it go. Shut up! I told you he had too big a mouth, boss. But if the oafs got it right, I'm not here to die for nothing. Winds take you. At what point did I promise? How do I know you'll spare? Patience ran out. Time for me to kill and for you to die.
Death to our enemies.
Carrying too much weight.
Yeah, fucking shut up, bitch. You ain't carrying too much weight. Oh, there they are. All right. Did not get a gun. It is a wand, right? Yeah. Okay.
What is it?
Oh. Hmm. Oh, not dealing with this shit. I'm pretty sure I could kill them. I just don't want to deal with that shit. That's gonna be annoying.
You cannot venture forth while in combat.
Seriously? Okay. Oh, the main dude's dead. Great. Alright.
Yes?
I guess I am doing this.
That's it! Worth and rock!
What is it?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to sneak up on you. Well, I suppose I've just noticed you acting a little, unusual lately. Talking to people who aren't there, remembering flashbacks of your previous life. I just want to make sure you're doing all right.
Yes, I am.
Well, I should let you rest. It looks like we'll have another full day tomorrow.
Well?
The man on the ground grasps for air. Please help. Leave him. What? Where are you going? Please, I need help. His body twitching as he drowns on his own blood. He is lifeless and still.
Well?
Nothing even worth stealing. Rough.
Well?
Anyone suspected of treachery must be reported at once. Good, you have come. You have heard of the recent defections from our order caused by this this apostate in Kratom?
Yes, I have.
This is a dangerous woman whose lies spread like plague. She inspires chaos, sows conflict. Because of these unusual circumstances, I am speaking to all our initiates personally to ensure there is no more dissension.
You mean because she was one of us?
Who she was no longer matters. If her following continues to grow, there will be war, and all our work will be undone. You were recruited from Kratom, were you not? You must have known this heretic woman, Yavara.
No, we never met.
Are you sure?
Yes.
As you say then. But I warn you, it would be unfortunate should I learn differently from anywhere else. I am trusting you to remain loyal to the gods in this. If you do not, you will have greater powers than me to answer to. But you will answer to me as well.
I understand, Your Eminence.
Tread carefully, Estremor.
Another fugitive from the burning city. The 6 tribes of Airglanfath welcome you to Twin Elms. Before you lies the Hearthsong district. You're free to explore it, but do not let your feet stray into others. They are forbidden in Estremorwen. Why are we forbidden? Twin Elms is a sacred city, built where the first keepers of the stone met the builders. It exists alongside the work of the builders, and it is the only place in all of Airglanfath where it is permitted to set foot among these sacred places. The Estremorun, however, do not have the proper respect for stones here. A leader of one of those tribes could give you permission, but only Enemenfath Bithul is present in the passage of the Six today, and she has her own troubles. You have other questions about Twin Elms? No.
Twin Elms. I've never been this far into Airglanfath before.
Okay. I just got randomly given a tabby cat. I think I finished everything. Yeah.
Hail, Estremor. Estremor.
A one-handed unique club. One-handed unique flail. And a one-handed warhammer. Sure. Exceptional bow. This guy got a gun? Okay. What? Oh, that was the issue. Okay. Unique. So, same speed. This one's got more damage. Cry. Okay, Starcaller's amazing. Anybody here using... Yeah. I'll let her double.
Estremor.
Estremor? Estremor?
Many blessings, traveler.
Builder's wisdom to you.
Ooh, shit, yeah. Oh, that's a pistol. That's not good. There we go. Wait, what? Oh, a blunderbuss, not an arquebus. Is this an arquebus? It's a mace. What? Two-handed. Oh, it shoots. It's a shotgun. Gotcha. Okay. I want to buy that. Oh shit, 6 dragon eggs. I don't know what those are for, but I'm gonna buy it. Two Widowmaker and a Widowmaker Spiderling. A two-handed pistol that does 44 damage. Is a little less slow than an arquebus. This thing has a crit multiplier. I'm gonna put that. Only usable by a paladin. Oh. Yeah, no.
Many blessings, traveler.
Alright. I am winning, May. Do I have to retrain in order to enchant? I haven't done this before. Hello, Lashwine. Fuck it.
Well?
Alright. What up, man? How you doing today? Steal, Estramor. The rest of the city is forbidden except by order of one of the Anamaftha. Trespassing in Twin Elms is punishable by death. Nice spear. Compensating for something. I'm doing alright. Just finishing up the game. I do not take insults from your kind, and much less in your clumsy tongue. Another coarse word from you, and I'll show you the 3 tusked Stilgar are trained with the spear. Okay. I wasn't really told where the fuck. Oh. I'll show you where you can shove that spear. Alright, let's see if I'm about to get myself killed. Oh shit. I think I just picked a fight with the entire city.
You cannot venture forth while in combat.
Oh, no, it looks like they'll let me through if I just kill everybody. That'll be a good way to end the evil campaign. Just fucking kill everybody. Jesus.
You cannot venture forth while in combat.
Not even sure I'm going the right way. Oh, fuck.
Well?
No, I'm handling this. Okay. Fuck. I don't think I've ever played a game that lets you outright murder children before.
That's it.
No, that's where I'm going.
You have stayed true to our cause, Inquisitor, when so many others have not. For every heretic we confess, for every betrayer that burns on our pyres, new sheep continue to flock to Iavara ex Incios. But not you. I underestimated you in the beginning, but no longer.
You honor me, Grand Inquisitor.
It is not for honor that I summoned you today, but for duty. Too many of our own have confessed upon the wheel and the rack and the flame. Too many of our faithful have had their minds poisoned by the Kratom witch. The tide is against us now. We have but one option. Iavara's following must see her exposed for what she is. She must confess her heresy before my court.
How would we reach her?
Not in Kratom, surely. Their lord has embraced her heathen faith and protects her with his army. But in Oceanus, things would be different. The king of Oceanus is a sinful man. We have helped him to see the error of his ways, and now he fears for his soul. He would pay any price for absolution.
But how would we get Iavara to move on Osinius?
You told me once that you had never met Iavara. Now you will tell me the truth.
Theo stares into your eyes. He seems never to blink. A rush of panic spreads through your body, and you can feel the sweat beginning to seep through your skin. You want to be anywhere else, but there is no escaping his gaze. I was in love with her.
I see. And did she return the sentiment?
No.
People such as this woman, they carry little room in their hearts for anything but their own delusions. I trust that you will not let these old feelings cloud your judgment. You are wise to be forthcoming with me. I am willing to forget your prior lapse in memory. You have already done much for the Inquisition. I wouldn't ask this were there any other choice.
Two identical women seem to fade into view as they move away from the great trees that camouflage them. The skin is tree bark, ridged and scaly, wreathed in a curling tangle of roots, buds, and blooms. The hair hangs beneath the shade of serrated leaves, like the drooping branches of the elms above, and the pupils of their eyes are encircled by hundreds or even thousands of concentric rings, as if to mark the accumulated wisdom of millennia.
Turn around, flesh creature. Outsiders are not permitted to approach the elms.
Do you not feel it, sister? Something familiar. An ancient soul, like the other one. Another defiler, no doubt. Let us fell him and be troubled no more. It would pay the debt of his predecessor.
So it would seem, Rhiannon. But we must not hasten to judgment. I see a different motive here. Different questions in these eyes.
Beloved young trespasser, is it as my sister says, or are you here to stain this place with foul deeds, as you have elsewhere in our city? I'd gladly burn this place down, but I have more pressing concerns. Did I not tell you it was so, sister? We do the land a misdeed by not cutting this one down before he can join the other defiler. A diseased tree bodes ill for the grove.
Lacking in sense though he may be, we both know that he is here to find the man Theos Exarchanon. Nothing more. Really, sister. And you wonder why your leaves begin to fall out before midsummer. Clearly that man did not want to be followed. Whatever the relationship here, I suspect it is anything but cordial. The answer is yes, old one. We crossed paths with Theos not long ago, and we can tell you where he went. But I find it curious that anyone would seek him out. Suspicious, even. If we are to help you find him, we would know why.
My reasons are my own concern. It has nothing to do with you.
It has everything to do with us. If you do not learn what we know, you will never reach him.
Unfortunately, Rhiannon, I sense that worse things will be in store if we do not impart what we know and bring these two together. But that's what this is really about, isn't it? You are tied to him. I see it now. You are awakened. Your soul is awake, and something once buried deep now wells to the surface. Past overwhelms present, closes in around you. Your time has nearly reached its end.
I just need to get to Theos.
I'm sorry to tell you this, but Theos cannot give you what you seek. Nor can any man. An awakening cannot be undone, any more than your past can be undone.
So, this has all been for nothing, and I'm going to lose my mind.
The soul is formless without a past to shape it. Did you truly expect to be able to wipe it away?
That, or kill the man who brought it up.
He is beyond forgiveness, for his deeds are beyond repair. Is that so? It would seem that way to me as well. But if that is true, then the two of you may be connected more closely than you realize. However, as much as my sister speaks truly that there is no way back from an awakening, there may yet be a way forward. Would you agree, Shiva?
I would. Were the way not so likely to end in death.
You underestimate me.
Or perhaps you underestimate your foe, Old One. Where your soul is renewed in its ignorance in each span of your life, his only grows in cunning and resolve.
The man Theos you must already know by now. You are linked by a common past. Something about it lingers within you, festering, unresolved. What it is I cannot see any more than you. And without that knowledge, your doom is certain. But were you to learn the source of this discord, perhaps it could be put to rest. Though it is equally possible it will trouble you as much now as it did then, and merely speed your condition to its end.
My past comes to me in pieces. How do I unlock the rest?
You might wait for it to come on its own, of course. But when it comes, it will replace your sanity's last breath. Such is the nature of your condition.
Or you could learn it from someone who already knows.
Theos, would he remember?
It is said the gods made his memory perfect, that he may never forget his charge. If he ever knew, he still does.
Not that he would tell you, of course.
You have followed the right person for the wrong reason, it seems. We see it often beneath the elms. The soul dragging mind and body to unknown places for unfathomable reasons. You may have wandered into Theos' path many times, in many lifetimes, without an awakening to show you why.
The only thing that's certain is you did not find what you sought.
You said you know where he went.
He's gone down beneath the tower to a place older than we, where the people of Engwith once walked. He makes his way to the buried city, Sun and Shadow.
May he stay down there and rot with the remains of his people.
He may yet. He won't be returning the way he came, that much is certain. He opened a secret path in the tower's base, and saw it destroyed behind him through some vile means.
Is there another way to get to him?
We know of one. On the burial isle, through the court of the penitents, Braeth Yaman. A shortcut, in fact.
Don't be cruel, sister. The way my sister speaks of is not for the faint of heart. A great pit at the center of a forgotten court, where faiths were judged in place of crimes. To most, it is simply a gateway to death. With the help of the gods, it can take you where you want to go.
What do you mean, with the help of the gods?
The pit is said to have been a means of judgment by the gods. Those cast into it are meant to die. It is that way you must pass to reach Sun and Shadow. The court is old. We do not know much for certain, but it would seem only the gods themselves can grant passage.
What is this court?
No more than a ruin now. It is older than we. A place for the trial of heretics. We were not here to witness it, but at one time there was a group that refused to acknowledge the gods. Neither the first nor the last, of course, but these were numerous and all put on trial for it. Those who did not repent were cast into the pit and imprisoned below. The fall killed them, of course. The prison was not for people, but for their souls, and their sentences were eternal. It is said that many of the condemned repented and were permitted by the gods to ascend from the pit, so long as they pledged their service to one of them. But these are old legends.
How would I ever get the gods to help me?
Behind us is Ter Evron, said to pierce the shroud itself and a place of communion with all gods. If ever there was a time for prayer, you have found it.
So the only way to get through this pit is to pray for help.
Not the only way. Just the only one that doesn't end with your body impaled on jagged rocks.
Is there no other way?
None.
Who would I pray to?
I would pray first to those gods you like best. I hope for your sake the feeling is shared.
How do I pray?
Ter Evron is also called the Hall of Stars, and the stars show us the allegiances of the gods. When stars are in conjunction, we know the gods they represent are aligned as well. You should choose a place to pray where you'll be closest to those you want to hear you. If a god stands alone, you should pray to that god. If they band together, you should address them all. Choose your words wisely, for all gods expect proper homage, and none has patience for fools. Before you go, tell me this, old one. I'm curious. If you were to subdue your enemy, what would you do with him? What would give you peace?
I would take his place in power for myself.
What a sad little creature you are. You truly do belong with Theos. Go and bury yourself with him.
All the same, think on this matter. Be assured in your course. In the end, it may mean all the difference, not just to his soul, but to yours. And be warned. Some questions have answers that can never be learned, and it is those that trouble the soul above all others. May you find an answer to yours.
Kill!
That's it!
Attack!
Which god did I worship again? Fuck it, whatever.
Incredible. A divine contraption that I would dearly love to inspect.
If I had to guess, it's gonna be Abaddon because the name is fucking Abaddon. Seeing. Oh, I'm not going to read all this shit out loud. It'll take too long. The goddess of the oceans. And sorrow. Okay. Depression. Galawain. Dinner. The haunt. Seeker god. Haunt. Strength, the victor, and prowess of the well-faced predator. The clever hound celebrates the transformative nature of strength. The greatest desire for us to become prey and predator. Okay, so Galawain is a maybe. Abaddon demands honest labor and forthright service. Definitely not Abaddon. Choice is a luxury. Struggle is fundamental. Maegrin is the goddess of fire and war, not bloodshed and conquest. How bitter they must be. Maegrin's priests are able to destroy a god made manifest. We who worship Maegrin are not adult barbarians or cloistered mystics. We are soldiers, armorers, watchmen, and bodyguards, artisans of conflict and protections of our families and flags. Okay, this is a not likely, but maybe. No, wait, wrong one. It's this one. The Queen of Birds. Will ship us a new life. Okay. Man, not that one. The Queen that was. When you strangle... Do you still remember your first deliverance? When you strangled your first wrongdoer? The moment when life became death? Could you see the instance when your victim realized that Wodika forgets nothing? When Wodika takes back her throne, will you face her with pride, knowing you've held to your oaths? Or will you be amongst the word breakers? Wodika teaches vengeance and memory, and while she is in exile, we must be her eyes and ears that let no injustice slip from record. We must be clenched fists that silences the lying breath. When Wodika takes back her throne, all of the injustices that have slipped through the cracks of history will be righted. The villains hiding in plain sight amongst the innocent will feel the burned queen's choking grasp. Pray that you live to see the day when you will join our queen in cleansing of the wicked. Okay, so Wodika, maybe. 10 years of dawn. Simple farmer. Eothas has not spoken to us since he appeared as Saint Wadwin. It was my hope that Eothas would remain meek, but alas, the child of light remains silent, banishing shadows and now every day work the fields in solitude. Is Eothas hiding from me until I shout my reverence? No, definitely not him. Giftbringer Aiden. Why I loved Andra so dearly. Didn't I already click on this one? Yeah, that's not it. Looking like it'll either be this one or a Wodika. Young students are often confused by Barath and Ramgrand's seemingly overlapping roles in holding dominion over death. Barath oversees the circle of life, death, and rebirth. Rimgrand oversees the cold, destructive act of death itself. This difference is difficult for novices to appreciate. But Ramgrand is the executioner's axe. Rimgrand shows us that all life ends in stillness. I need only show them. The symbol of Rimgrand, the bone-white aurochs skull found carved within the ancient Anguithan ruins. It is a symbol of death and doom in every culture. Every child, any child with 4 winters under his belt needs no introduction to this ancient symbol. Rimgrand embodies not just death, but all manifestations of collapse, be them famine, plague, or bad luck. Rimgrand is a primal god, silent and inscrutable as death itself. He makes himself known with his passing, not by proclamation. There are innumerable stories of the god's terrifying passage through the lands of Eora. When the beast of winter stirs, bitter winds and beastly howling follow the creature's every move. Wherever the beast plants a hoof, all life withers to dust. The faithful of Rimgrand insist that even another god's life can end in stillness. They claim the other gods must flee from the beast of winter's mastery over death, but we know not if this beast holds true. Though the beast of winter is shrouded in snowy clouds, those who have seen the shaggy white monster claim that the souls of the fallen can be seen clinging to the beast's fur. The dwarves of the boreal south have numerous stories that tell a similar plot. A brash hero seeks out the beast of winter to rescue the souls trapped. These tales never end well, for even if the hero saves his beloved, the hero dies in the process. For it is not a proper tale of Rimgrand, unless the hero's life ends in stillness. Okay, so that's probably it, but we're going to check the last 3, I believe. Yeah. So here's the other god of death. How fitting we know that the god of cycles, doorways, mortality, and inevitability is Barath, while the Villians know the same god as Cyrano. Birth teaches that duality exists. Oh. Yeah, this is not it. A man of thuggish bearing stormed into my library and demanded I help him find a book on the construction of an Arbicus. Towards an illuminated manuscript, I shrugged. What is an answer without a question? He did not find, so he punched out 2 of my teeth. And more blah blah blah. Eyeless face. Yeah, it's not this one. That's for like librarians and shit. For months, we met by secret conclave to plot our landlord's demise. Skane teaches us to plot with the mind while keeping one's face impassive and inscrutable. Fair fights are for those with armies. The quiet slave is our whetstone, our focus. In his worship, our cause finds focus, clarity, and possibility. I pray Skane does not abandon me for speaking of my plotting. Okay, so the quiet slave. So yeah, I'm either doing Wodica or Rimgrand. I haven't decided which. So I'm an evil paladin. Wodica looks like a betrayed god of like aggressive justice, which is I think like this is more me. And this one is just unthinking slaughter. And that's fine too, but I think I'm going to go with Wodica, which is kind of great, because she's the obvious bad guy of this game. I say all that shit. Wodica isn't a goddamn option. Nothing happens when you approach the Wodica Shrine. A piercing ring fills your ears when you near Whale Shrine. There is no other response. Okay. Well then, I guess we're going Barath. No, it's not Barath, it's Rimgrand. In the nearby constellation, you make out the shape of a strange horned beast. From time to time, you think you sense a faint chill emanating from the shrine. Pray to Rimgrand. You kneel before the shrine and prepare to recite the ritual words. Oh, motherfucker. Okay, I read that whole fucking thing. All life ends. No. It's gotta be all life ends in stillness. All life ends in stillness. You feel a sudden gust of cold air, as if the shrine were bursting into wintry life. The frigid wind cuts through you like a sharpened blade, and darkness encroaches upon the edges of your sight. You kneel and close your eyes as you pray. The blackness fades to white, and a howling wind fills your ears. The vision that slowly resolves itself is of a broad, frozen plain. You see a procession of elves in the distance, periodically fading into and emerging from the whiteness. They trudge over snowbanks, their head down against the driving winds. As they trek past you, one man bundled in furs turns his head. You headed for Noonfrost and the Frost-hewn Breach too? Before you can answer, he's lumbered ahead. You follow the caravan, and in a couple of minutes you come to a wall of ice. It disappears into the pale emptiness overhead and stretches as far as you can see in either direction. The elves stop in front of a mirror-smooth section that's framed like a temple door. It seems somehow thinner than the rest of the wall. You can't see what's on the other side, but a debilitating cold emanates from within. The elves pull pickaxes and shovels from their sealskin packs and begin hacking at the smooth ice, their implements flying through the air in swift shining arcs. Though they throw their bodies into the labor, not one of them so much as scratches the polished ice, yet with each blow something bellows in the distance. The elves hack away, seeming oblivious to the furious lowing, and to the tremors under your feet. The snow has risen to your knees, your legs feel frozen in the drifts. Attack. You strike the nearest elf, and he crumbles into a mound of snow. You attack another, and she falls just as easily. While you cut down the elves around you, their fellows continue cleaving at the ice, working faster. Even their redoubled efforts seem futile. When the last falls, the bellowing ceases and the wind dies down. A final gale blows past, scattering the remains of the elves in a chaotic flurry. You notice a single spiderweb crack in the smooth barrier. It's the only thing that mars the perfect surface of the ice. Whatever's on the other side of this strange doorway, you feel it tugging at you. Only when you look back and see the parallel gashes trailing behind your legs in the snow do you realize how strong its pull is.
My end comes to all things in time. Seal the frost-hewn breach and instruct the pilgrims in the patience of Remergond.
Plug the hole with your finger. You stick your finger into the hole and feel a stinging cold. You yank your hand back, but the finger snacks off and remains wedged in the crack. A hoary rime instantly grows over the smooth surface, fusing it with the rest of the wall. A crystal of ice grows from your frozen stub. As you examine it, the vision around you fades and your finger rises from the shrub, but a shard of unmelting ice remains in your palm. Find a noon frost. That was a lot of reading. Oh, man. Good lord. Alright. I need to... Fuck. Wrong thing. No, that's not it. Is this it? Yeah, there it is.
Shut up and sit down.
Alright. I'm gonna AFK this for a minute and get a drink, go to the bathroom, and take care of business. I'll be right back. Alright. I'm back. The fuck?
Aren't our awakenings being permanent?
If thou see Lord.
Bring them down!
Hmm.
If thou see Lord, believe.
Estremor?
It's not many Estremon who are permitted into our sacred city. He must be feeling soft today. He's not feeling great, honestly. I don't give a shit. This ain't where I need to be. I went the wrong goddamn way. It was an old song.
If thou see lava. By our seek.
No!
As you wish.
Oh, I forgot my lion.
If thou see Lord, fear.
There it is. Let's kill my way to the temple of the god of death.
I hope our duties won't require...
Welcome to Noon Frost. Most of the temple is currently closed for sacred ceremonies to Rimgrand. The shrine is to your right. You're welcome to make your offerings to Rimgrand there, but the rest of the temple is off limits. I'm looking for the frost-hewn breach. As I said, only the shrine in the eastern wing is open. The rest is closed. I suggest that you make your devotions there and leave. If that's all, why is the temple closed? As I've said, we're in the middle of sacred ceremonies. They're rather complex, and we don't permit outsiders to witness them. Others of my clan get rather touchy about them, which is why you should visit the shrine and take your leave. That's a pity. I was hoping to learn more about these practices. The more complicated, the better, I say. Goodbye. I am definitely gonna kill a lot of people in here.
I'll have it in no time.
What do you mean locked? I've maxed lockpicking.
What is it? There's a pig.
Did I not save it after I maxed out my goddamn lockpicking? Fuck. Oops. Well, whatever. So I just killed my way there.
I'll have it in no time. The work of a moment.
I don't know what that's for, but probably something important.
That's not very helpful.
Wow, that fucking hurt. Get the fuck up, you dumb bitch.
Yes.
This dumb bitch is about to die.
What is it?
Can I use this in here? Oh, I can. Okay. That's fucking stupid. Can I just have them kill this motherfucker? A young Orlin scrambles on the stone floor, pressing her back to the wall and baring her teeth. Her fur is patchy and matted. As you step into the room, she squints and turns her large ears towards you. A heavy sigh escapes her tiny body. Please take me. My eyes mistook you for one of them. Please get me out of here. Why are you here? When Noonfrost began freezing the lake, my sister Lara sent me to see... Okay, I can't do that. My sister Lara sent me to seek out the cause. The pale elf Estramonon seized me before I could report back. These pale elves are behind it. They showed up in Twin Elms not long ago, saying they wanted to see the upkeep of Noonfrost. I don't know how, but they opened the Frosthewn breach at the back of the temple. Sucks warmth and life straight into their frozen god's barren domain. They've got to be stopped. It's only a matter of time before the cold spreads further. Can you tell me anything about the Frosthewn breach? Not really. Something to do with Rimgrand, the Beast of Winter. I follow Galawain myself. Bye. Wait, really? Oh, here it is.
Join us! I bring your attack.
I'll have it in no time. The work of a moment.
Bring your
Oh, wow. Do I have the wrong weapon equipped? Oh, no, there we go.
Yes.
As you near the platform, the temperature drops sharply. Something saps every last bit of warmth from the air, leaving the breath in your lungs cold as it escapes your lips. You see a doorway filled with glowing ice. Silhouetted against it is an elven man, his arms outstretched.
What have you done? This useless slaughter, Please, just let me finish what we came here to do.
You're leaving this place for good.
I bring your join arms. Join arms.
Let's down. Let's go.
Got it.
A pedestal of black ice rises from the floor. Long, finger-like ice crystals, as hard and clear as diamond, surround and pierce the altar. A hole has been gouged out of the middle. Though it can't be more than a few inches deep, it sucks at the air around you. Plug the hole. The shard fits perfectly. As it settles into place, the cold around the altar dissipates. Similarly, the portal before you seems to thicken, and the mysterious seepage tapers off. Alright.
Useless.
Get up!
Oh fuck, those two people aren't fucking fighting. Oops. Where did the healer go?
As one.
Dude, why aren't you doing anything?
Boy, fix.
Let's go.
Death, take you.
That's shout. Death comes for you.
No kill! Kill them! They're picking! No prison!
Huh. Not even close.
Well?
Not even close. Once more you approach the shrine. A thin frost has formed on the edges. You pray again, and the white plate emerges. The driving wind returns in a chaos of whirling snow. Something moves at the center, plodding but relentless. As the snowstorm gets closer, you see an aurochs as colossal and slow as a glacier, its shaggy white hair matted with frost, but beneath it ribs like a ship's frame protrude. The beast of winter. I've seen its shape prowling the walls of many an ancient ruin. A man, emaciated and almost naked, huddles at the beast's legs. His body is scored with lash marks, and his nose and ears have been carved from his face. His black eyes pierce the white out. By the wheel, it's Skane. The orc stops and stands before you, enveloping you in the violent blizzard that surrounds it. Though its mouth does not move, the beast speaks in a deep, thunderous voice.
A clan of Glamfelin ventured from the white that wends to find the crack in the ice. When you sealed it, you damned their souls to a slow weathering here, one they had sought to escape.
Their souls will eventually break down like the rest.
Entropy is not the sudden, violent combustion of heat and flame. It is a slow progression. Fragment by fragment, the elements wear even the mountains to dust.
The world shudders beneath you and a great crack echoes across the wide expanse. The ice splits at your feet, waves lapping at the rift.
The Watcher seeks something long lost. What is it you search for?
Theos Ix Arcanon, the man responsible for my current plight.
Yet there is a greater plot at work here, Watcher. Theos acts not for himself. He is the Burned Queen's quiet slave, a master of secrets and schemes.
Theos is a winter gale, unseen by the world even while he carves and shapes it. Woodica directs him, sending him to wipe her enemies from Eora.
And Animancy as well. He would see those secrets lost, the knowledge forgotten.
And he would see his mistress grow fat on the essence of thousands. For her, he has harvested the unborn souls of the Deerwood.
What now?
Theos has removed these souls from the cycle. They are ice melting in the sun. Let them fade.
Let them forget this world and be forgotten by it.
Take the souls she so desires and grind them into dust. Let her see her careful schemes thoroughly ruined.
Ground to dust, is it? This skulking thing at least is honest. I like not the sound of this. For several seconds, the waves crash quietly against the ice, and the Autarch stands silently amidst the cheering flurries.
It is the destiny of all things to crumble and join the chaos that follows this world. Some seek it willingly, as you have seen.
To mingle, roiled and stirred by the tides of the universe. It is not an unkind fate.
You would give the, I'll seek Theos in sun and shadow.
When you reach the Burial Isle, we will send lost souls to guide you through the pit. This is our gift to you. What you do after you face Theos will be your choice, but we would have you set the stolen essence adrift.
And whether you would heed us or no, understand that our end comes to all things eventually. Help us achieve it, and we shall reward you now with a power to rival Theos's.
But do not choose lightly. We forget nothing, least of all a betrayal.
I shall give the souls to Entropy. The great ox advances towards you, engulfing you in wind and snow. As its shadow falls over you, so does a terrible pain. Your body freezes and shatters, expanding into millions and billions of fragments. As it does, the pain recedes, and in its place is power and awareness of all things. In an instant, the shards congeal once more, and you find yourself in Tyr Evron again. I was granted Rimgrand's boon.
Well?
What the fuck is Rimgrand's boon? One con, one survival. And that could have been better. Now what? Descend the pit in Burial Isle to Brieth Aemon. Nearly at the end of the game. Alright, I think I need to go to Old Song or Heart Song, probably.
Stop right there.
You're in the wrong city, Inquisitor. Did you think you wouldn't be recognized here in your old home?
I've seen your trials with my own eyes.
I've seen you light pyres with good people tied to them, people I'd known many a year. He seizes you by the throat and your airway tightens. Whether real or imagined, you cannot tell. They deserve your confession. Here is the point of his sword, holding it a hair's breadth from your eye.
Suros, what are you doing?
Startled, the soldier releases you and turns to face the speaker, a woman in a plain woolen tunic, fully a head shorter than he, but somehow seeming to tower over him. You've seen this woman's face before, but from afar, bloodied and burned as she lay stretched across an iron wheel. At the moment, it is marked only with concern.
An assassin sent by the Inquisition, my lady, daring to approach our camp.
If he is so poor an assassin as to approach an armed guard in daylight, I should have nothing to fear. I would hear what he has to say.
Surely this is some trick of my mind. I did not expect to see you again.
Grand Inquisitor Theos Ix Arcanon dispatched me here to spy on you. Are things as desperate as that over there? I'd never have known. I hope your next assignment is more stimulating. Listening to my lectures is dull work for a spy. I realize there may be more to it than that for you, but I can't fault anyone for following their heart. Whatever your reasons, I've missed you over all these years. Having you here now, at a time when I'm surrounded by strangers, is a gift.
I would like for you to stay here, in our camp, as my guest.
My lady Irvara, I beg of you. This is an Inquisitor. This is a desperate attempt on your life. The only way it can succeed is if you allow it to.
This is a missionary, same as I was. Taught the wrong things as I was. If I can't have faith in one man's ability to reason, once he knows the truth, what hope do we have?
My lady, he admits being a spy.
That should make him less of a threat, wouldn't you agree? I have nothing to hide. All I see here is an opportunity to persuade someone who could help us. We have many former missionaries here. They are our most loyal, our most helpful. Many have died for us. These are not people we should be turning away. And if the Inquisition wants my life, they can have it. But they know as well as I do that my cause will not die with me. Come. We have much to talk about.
Kill them all!
Alright. We're at the end of the game. And I'll be right back in like 15 minutes.
does look like Theos' kind of place. Nice and quiet.
Welcome back.
I remember when I was a girl, and the missionaries came and told us about the gods. They said we could see them in the stars. I remember when I heard that, I snuck out at night and climbed the watchtower in the old fort because I wanted to see them better. That fort burned down a few years ago when we cast the missionaries out. It was the missionaries who set fire to it. They didn't want us to be able to use it. Shame. There was history in that fort.
That fort had outlived its use. It was a false sense of security. It was that, for me as much as anyone. Seeing it burn made me think. You called this place home once. Do you worry about it? It's been through worse. I try to remind myself of that. It's nice to have the reinforcement.
I miscalculated many things since this began. I'm relieved you weren't one of them. It's a good thing we didn't hang you.
Okay.
I always knew this path would have consequences, but I never wanted to see Kratom suffer on my behalf. I don't think I can stay here any longer. I am told the Inquisition is gathering an army, that they have sent messengers to bargain with rulers from distant lands. Kratom is not built to withstand a siege. If war is coming, I should be doing what Theos is doing. I will need allies. Allies in a stronghold that can resist an invading army.
Have you thought about Oceanus?
Oceanus. They have held off many would-be invaders, and their king has no love of the Inquisition's faith. I wonder, would he listen?
I don't know. I hit a shade? Yeah, okay.
Off it.
Words and rock!
Whew, my lion almost died. That would have been very unfortunate.
Of course.
Brave thou shalt believe. Brave thou shalt.
Oh, motherfucker.
that were that...
Got him.
As you wish. Well?
Brave. Thou still art free.
As you wish. What is it?
Another turn, Inquisitor. I ask again, Jovara Ixensios, do you confess to these heresies of which you stand accused?
He waits Oh, you're right. It was muted, I guess. I think my microphone came unplugged. Well, thank you, P. Diddley, for letting me know. Oh, shit. Now I fucked that up, didn't I? Okay. There. Okay. Brace yourself. You tuck your arms and legs into your torso and prepare yourself for the impact. You strike the hard surface and pain lances through your shoulder. Fortunately, the impact knocks you back to the center of the pit and the souls around your body adjust to keep you there. You manage to spread your arms and legs into an X, steadying your position and the rate of your descent. You reach the court of the penitents, millennia-old stones safely under your feet. Seriously? And now the game sound isn't working? Hold on. I can make this replay itself after I get it fixed. I always heard the end of this game had a lot of bugs in it. I was really hoping it was fucking fixed. It's twice in 10 minutes the audio in the game has gone out on me. Yeah, now it's working again. If it goes out again, I'll just narrate that bit. Oh. I guess it auto-saved on the loading screen. Whatever.
As you wish.
There's... Apparently everybody leveled up. Fucking game. I forgot what my next level is. What level am I? 7. Reviving exhortation. Command an unconscious ally to get back up. Oh, okay. So it's a resurrection. That's reasonable. Okay. Time to finish the story.
Yes.
Okay, I guess the trap's missed.
down! Curses!
Holy shit.
That's not very...
Braved out.
That's not very helpful.
As you wish.
Missing item mods 264. Really, Obsidian? Fucking really?
Watch out!
Wow.
What is it?
Okay, that's a legit trap.
Yeah?
Oh, there's my archer. I knew I was missing somebody.
Well?
That's not very helpful. Watch out!
What is it? Yes?
Good lord, man. Glad I bought all these fucking camping spots. Oh, to be clear, I'm not playing this on a hard difficulty. I'm doing this just for story. Because I don't know how this thing ends if you're, like, evil and you murder everybody you come across. Column of Audra rises above you, stoic and silent, its rigid layers a measuring stick for the passing of ages. It feels to you as a thick block of ice, and you perceive, buried deep in its core, a dim, flickering flame, all but extinguished, yet preserved against the ravages of the elements. At your approach, the flame seems to steady and draw strength, and the layers separating it from you melt away, and you are bathed in its glow, a bright beacon in the gloom. The glow seems to fade, as though you had adjusted to its intensity, and where it was, Yorva seeps into existence, an idyllic shade hovering above the moist prison floor. Though ageless, she appears somehow different to you now. A slight stoop to her carriage, perhaps, or a trace of sunkenness in her eyes. There is a broad scar across her face, fibrous and wormy where flames once lapped, unhealed even in death.
Hello, old friend. The ages have been kind to you, I hope. You are so different now from who you were then, yet much remains the same. Old troubles with a new face. What is it that has brought you here?
I wanted to make sure you still suffer for your transgressions.
Only if my existence were painful would my sentence bring me suffering. My Punisher's assumption says more of him than it does of me. I can only guess your presence here has something to do with Theos. The energy of this place changes when he is near. I don't know what he has done, but I do know of the souls that pass through here now. They do not come by choice.
Theos diverted them from the cycle. He seeks to empower Wodica and to blame Animancy for the damage he's caused.
After all this time, he would still stand against the tide.
You knew me when Theos did. There's something I need to know about that time.
I will tell you what I remember.
There's something about that lifetime my soul can't let go of. I need to know what it is, and I'm running out of time. I see moments from that life, of you, of the Inquisition, of Theos.
I can see his influence, still hanging like a weight about your neck. So it always was. He had inspired something in you. We spoke of him the last time you were here also. It was just after the trial. You were agitated. I think because you started to consider that what I was teaching may have been true.
And what was that? Her mouth tightens and her brow furrows a look of pity. Her eyes shift back and forth between each of yours as if looking for something that would help her decide whether to speak.
That the gods aren't real.
Huh. I dreaded the idea from the moment the Delimgon suggested it. And yet, it almost feels like a relief.
But that's not... Is that the truth we've come for? That even the gods are false?
I literally spoke with one like an hour ago.
What I taught was that the gods whose faith we had been spreading were not gods at all, but something else entirely. Something created by people.
Who created these gods, and for what?
They were conceived by Engwyth, a society of high minds and broad concerns. Theos' people. In their time, every people worshipped its own gods. Sometimes they warred over it. After a few wars of their own, the Engwythans sought an end to it. They devoted all their energy to finding the true creators. Generation after generation, they prodded and worked the stitching of the world and unlocked its secrets. One day, they found an answer. Except the answer was no answer at all. There were no gods to be found. Or if there ever were, they were gone. It shook them, this finding. If they could discover this on their own, how long until others would? How long before war and chaos reigned over a world without consequence? But they had mastered many things in their pursuit of these answers. And with their mastery, they crafted their own gods to fill the void, and sent missionaries to the corners of the world to spread their faith.
This is why you started your own faith?
I never thought of it as faith, but I think you are right to call it that. Let the world see. Let them decide what to do. That was my faith. I became a missionary because the gods brought me hope that I wanted to bring to others. For a time, the truth sent me to a dark place. Then the day came when I realized nothing had changed, that I still had a purpose, and the purpose was the same and it was worth living for. I began questioning the other missionaries in public, exposing their parlor tricks. In time, their following became mine.
How did you discover this?
The Engwythan missionaries all knew it, but they never told the rest of us. They meant it to be a secret that died with them. And in the end, they allowed their bloodlines to fade from memory. I had been assigned to join a few of them at a temple. I found the door to their chambers closed, but the room was stone and the door thin. Their voices carried. I heard enough. I investigated the things they spoke of, and everything was there, just as they said it'd be.
Later on, after I left the Order, a few Anguathans found my words persuasive and joined my cause. They revealed what I did not already know. Is it true, what you taught?
You asked me this once before. Nothing I can say would be any proof, and it may be certainty your soul craves. Resolution. But if you are bound for the same place Theos directs these souls, you will see for yourself, as you once did. Everyone faces this truth at one time or another. Few confront it. Few have the stomach to ask what if. And in avoiding the question, they deny themselves an identity of their own.
Yulva scans her audience in silence, her eyes thoughtful, lingering on each member of your company in turn, finding interest in things unseen.
What if you had always been alone, without guidance?
Well, as poorly as I've chosen my guides, I suppose it would be a comfort to know that I'm free of them.
The freedom has always been. It was the guidance that was the illusion. If all our common threads are spun from a lie, what's left to bind us together?
I don't know. I never found the answers I sought. But after all we have seen, I think the gods are not enough. Perhaps the threads are unraveling. The lies too old. I think maybe we are all meant to be divided. Every effort, every search for a single truth will end in failure, because there is no single truth. We seek simple answers where there are none.
Threads spun from falsehoods tend to unravel on their own, my friend. For it is in our natures to seek truth.
What if we can be assured of nothing? Then the fewer people who realize, the better.
How can you say that? You'd enslave people to a lie.
We both know at least one other who would agree that none should know the truth. He condemned heretics by the thousands, yet it was only he who was truly faithless. I pity him the burden he bears. He carries it alone needlessly. I wish he would allow himself the relief of sharing it. But he underestimates everyone. I ask these things not to trouble you, but to show why they must be confronted. No answer is simple. But somewhere between them all lies a truth so beautiful, not even a god could conceive it. Do we not owe ourselves a chance to find our part in it?
I don't think it matters much either way.
I often wonder that myself. If things had gone differently, if the world had taken my faith instead of the Anguithan's faith, would it truly be what I had envisioned? I've been alone here with my thoughts for so long now. I've found peace with my failures, and with my punishment. I no longer curse fate for what might have been. But there is one thing that has clawed and scraped at my mind all these years. One thing that will not be put to rest until I know. Until I understand. I need to know why you chose to remain with the Inquisition, even after you'd learned the truth. Do you remember?
Sorry, there are no assurances. Yulva looks at you with the face of one condemned. Her mouth moves, but she speaks no words. Her eyes glaze, focused no longer on you, but on some invisible, crushing vision before her. You were naive to be so trusting of people.
I may not have loved you in the same way you loved me, but I loved you all the same. You had heard both sides, seen everything. If not you, then who?
You're never going to be able to convince everyone of anything, true or not. There will always be dissent.
I expected dissent.
but I needed to know that true faith would prevail. Perhaps I've been wrong to place so much importance on one person's actions. It was all I could do to feel like there was an answer. You denied me a chance to know your reasons. And even if you hadn't, some part of me would always know it didn't truly answer what I wished to know, nor will an eternity of silent contemplation. I will have only my guesses and suspicions, and that will have to do. And what of your understanding of our past? Are you at ease with the choice you made?
I would do it again, given the chance.
At first I thought this might be the source of your soul's anguish, but now I see I was mistaken. You are not divided on this matter. You have put it behind you. It is with Theos that your agony lies, in sun and shadow. Your questions are not for me, but for him. And it may be that only an answer from the mouth of Theos himself will satisfy your needs. Yet if there is anything I can tell you that would be of use, ask and you shall know.
Are you bound here until the end of time?
In a matter of speaking. This is Braeth Yamen, the court of the penitents. Souls are confined here until they repent. They must beg the forgiveness of a god, pledge their soul to them, and they will be lifted from this place to the world above. In truth, they receive leniency, but not true mercy. The spite of Woodica is eternal. They linger above, at the site of the old court, and are not permitted to leave the island, forever severed from the cycle. This prison was full once in the days of the Inquisition, but time weathers all things, even will. I'm the only tenant who remains. Yet, I feel their presence strongly now, as it was in the beginning. You have brought many of them here. They cry out for the judgment of Theos. You have struck some bargain with the gods, then.
I am using the gods to further my own ends.
They aid you because they would bend you to their own purposes. Engwith built gods from ideals, and an ideal on its own is a grotesque and vicious thing. But these souls, these forgiven the gods have bequeathed you like chattel. They were loyal followers in life. They will be with you to the very end.
Why don't you repent?
Last time someone asked me that, I was bound to an iron wheel with a broken spine. There are many things I've come to doubt about the choices I made in life, but that trial was my one moment of certainty, even without a chorus of gods to tell me I had been right. The gods need to be reminded that we have a spirit, and that spirit is proof against their power. They have the power to manipulate and confuse and ruin us, but not to change our will. I will remain here until the world crumbles and fades from existence, with joy in my heart, knowing I've shown them what they truly are.
It's time for me to go.
Theos will not wait for you. If you do not catch up to him now, you may never find him again.
So there's the obvious choice here. If you hadn't planned it out, I'd be living a normal before I go pay. I kill her, whatever. That's fine. I think that would be evil, kind of. Your defiance here is an illusion. That's kind of mentally fucking with her. That first option, the gods have given you souls. If you repent, you could join with them. Help me strike the final blow against Theos. I know I'm going to destroy these souls or eat them after I kill Theos. I think that's the most evil. I'm going to take that one. The gods have given me the souls of the forgiven. If you repent, you could join with them. Help me strike the final blow against Theos.
If I repent, all I have done has meant nothing.
Oh. You were tied to this woman's spirit, and you have a control over it, as though you were its shepherd.
Never wished to bring you harm. I had thought that the truth would liberate you.
I am going to extract you from this prison, send you back to the cycle, doom you to forget all you know. Perhaps one day you will awaken and share the fate I face now.
Please, even imprisoned here, at least I do not live in ignorance. At least my purpose was formed by truth. Do not make me give up all I have fought for.
Goodbye, Yuvara. Beneath you, you perceive an immense concentration of Audra, deep as the world itself, vivid and humming. A channel that passes beyond Britha and into the unbound space. You focus on Yuvara, wrapping wisps of your essence around her like some smothering bestial claw. There. Stupid fucking thing. I think I know what the issue is. I think I had my microphone cable a little too tight. Well, I was looking over. Because I had just noticed it myself. Alright. Well. Still no sound in game. The fuck, dude? I'm gonna leave the area. I think it might be the area. Because I know this game's buggy as shit. Oh, well. Yeah, I am pretty quick. No, nothing. No, it's not OBS is the issue. I'm not hearing any sound either. It's the game that's the issue. It's a known issue. Like, this game was never well built. So there's a... it's known to be a thing that late in the game, there's a lot of bugs. And I'm right near the fucking end of it.
As you wish.
There it goes.
Hello? Is everyone still there?
The fuck?
Full of surprises, aren't you?
Look at that. A city to put all others to shame. And long lost. Brave thou feel not believe. Right away.
It is very similar to Dragon Age in terms of theme. It's very, very different in terms of gameplay. I've actually got it on the easiest difficulty because I'm just playing it for the story. It gets really fucking hard. It's hard for me to fail at Dragon Age. I've played that game so much now. Oh, shit. Kill the little shit first. Put my dude on the dragon. Also, this game has guns. Dragon Age doesn't have guns.
These ones are in for a That's not very helpful.
Ha! Got him.
Well? Yes.
Okay, seems like the right way. The shadows in the cavern suddenly lengthen and swallow you. When your eyes adjust to the darkness, you find yourself in the midst of what must be another vision. You're surrounded by mists. The ground feels springy under your feet. You imagine that, as soon as you take a step, the soil behind you will erase all trace of your passage. As if on cue, the mist before you clear just enough for you to take a couple steps. You do, and the fog closes behind you. You continue for several minutes in this manner, one step at a time, never seeing more than the ground in front of you. Eventually, rays of light cut through the haze, and you find yourself facing a canyon wall. Something whizzes past you. Just as you turn, you catch another whir of movement. Out of the mist flits a shape, small and round. You think you see another, and another. They tickle the corners of your vision. You turn back to the canyon wall. The sun shifts along its path, and what looked like a smooth rock face is the hollow of a cave. A figure steps out, its features shifting and changing before your eyes. He who sees and is not seen, save when he chooses, it seems. I thought the god of mysteries my chief enemy at times, but one cannot seek answers if the questions aren't there. The figure transforms from male to female, from Orlan to Alma, its bones lengthening and its fur receding into flesh. The only detail that remains constant is the smooth, eyeless face. The whizzing, rushing shapes from the mist converge on the figure, and as they form a spinning cloud, you realize that they are eyes.
You are a creature of contradictions. By turns cruel and kind, rational and zealous. Your nature is buffeted by forces and whims that none can anticipate. You unravel a thread, Watcher, one you have lost and discovered over generations, and following it to its end has only brought you back to the beginning.
What are you talking about? You seek a search while your foe obscures, and even your quest for answers to your past has only led you to another mystery, and one grander still. Another riddling god. Fantastic. The form of the question prepares the seeker for the answer, Watcher, and while you seek to repair your past, Boudica seeks to restore her future.
A nebula of souls, blind and brimming with potential. The answer to Boudica's question and the beginning of yours. What would you do with them?
I take it you've got something in mind. Do not consign the souls to the fate of some god's choosing. You found them, now scatter them across existence, the destination known to neither god nor mortal. Let them be lost again, new answers to new riddles. You say I shouldn't let a god decide their fate, but it seems you're asking me to do just that.
In a way. But something must be done, and hurling them from the machinery of other schemes is the truest course of action.
Farewell, whale.
That is a word for endings, and this is but a crossroads. Even I do not know what you would choose.
Oh shit.
Still alive? Stands. Ah.
Yeah.
Ah, got him.
Curses.
Brave thou shalt not believe.
I don't know what that tinging sound is. Oh, okay. Every time I hear that tinging sound, it's a Twitch follower. Okay. That's been happening every now and then, and it's been driving me crazy. I thought my computer was having an error.
What is it?
Jesus Christ. I just caught the tail end of that little notification when I looked over that time. Yeah, I guess I'll take it. Whatever. What the fuck? Let me go down the fucking stairs. Alright, I guess I won't go down the fucking stairs. Already been there. Oh. Wonder if it's the giant fucking doorway that I walked right past 3 times. Well, this is the final boss room.
Are you ready to take the oath? To spread the word? I am trusting you to remain loyal to the gods in this. I wouldn't ask. If you do not, you will have greater powers than...
Oceanus.
I'm ready to hear one from you.
Am I ready to hunt some goat tonight? Yeah, sure. And go goat hunting. Well, it shouldn't be too hard. Just throw a couch at it and shoot it while it eats your couch. You've come to a circular room, grand, domed walls, lined with Audra and trimmed with copper. At the far end, a great pillar of Audra pierces the floor from below like a ragged spike, its shimmering texture giving the illusion of boundless depth. Your thoughts are yours and not yours. They are all questions. At the base of the pillar stands Theos, a look of concern upon his face as he notes your approach. You have something you want to ask him, one question above all others, spinning madly in your mind, but you don't dare ask it yet. You need some admission from his verse, some hint of the veracity of your suspicions.
You are far from your post, Inquisitor. What brings you here?
All of these statues, who are they of?
They are monuments to Woodica's greatest servants among my people. I hope to join them myself one day, but my work is not yet complete.
That machine, what does it do?
It has many uses, but its purpose is to bring structure to the chaos that surrounds it.
What is this place?
We are in a sanctum holy to Woodica. There are others like it in service to the other gods. I come here often to pray for her counsel, and in this space I may be assured that she hears me.
Was Yorva telling the truth?
That woman sought only to destroy the foundations of peace and civility that my people sacrificed everything to build.
Was the entire Inquisition based on a lie?
The Inquisition was based on the need to cut the flesh from a rotting wound.
You are shaking now, having lost all patience for tact. No more evasions. You have to know everything you believed, everything you've done for the gods. Did you lie to me when you said I was right to leave my family behind for the gods? Are there no gods?
What is a god? A higher power? A rewarder of good deeds and punisher of the wicked? Something men can turn to in their darkest moments when their days seem only like bridges from one tragedy to the next. Our gods are all these things.
With Theos' every word, you find yourself losing control of a boiling cauldron of rage and doubt and fear and hopelessness until you can take it no more. Are there no gods?
We are in a sacred place within earshot of the gods themselves. This is not the time. You've been through much these past few months. You will return home and you will rest. When you feel you have recovered, you may rejoin us at the trials. The Inquisition is far from over, and I will have need of you. There are many who continue to spread the lies of the apostate. The Inquisition will not end until we have pronounced judgment on all of them.
His eyes linger on you, and there is no mistaking the threat behind it. And your rage shrinks at the image of an iron wheel in your mind, monolithic and caked with the dried blood of thousands. You do not ask your question again.
How did you find it?
I'm not here to talk this time.
Hear me, Woodica. Your servant calls for aid. Kroak 10!
Jesus fucking Christ. Alright, Woodican Judge, Woodica's Headsman. What do we got over here? Wizard. Go there. DPS, you go on that dude. You're a barbarian, you go there. You got a gun and a cat lady and a bow. Big boy's gonna go on that guy. What the fuck just happened? Fuck. Bitch. Alright, he's immune to damage. save this, just in case these two aren't the only ones.
Got it.
I fucking knew it. Okay, my healer isn't dead. Good. Run away from the giant explosion. Alright, everybody on this big dick motherfucker. You are gonna bring this stupid shitbag back to life. Why can't I control my fucking healer? There. And why the fuck is my wizard not casting a goddamn spell?
I have failed.
At your feet rests the body of Theos, hollow, the dense wrinkles shaped by the silent shouldering of an eternal burden now smoothed across his color-drained face. His soul remained still for the moment, defenseless, its energy expended in defeat. It lies sprawled across his body like a death shroud.
All those lifetimes spent to preserve a single vital secret. I can't imagine having that much certainty.
All those lives. And at the end of them, he was no better than the very people he sought to guide. A pity he would ever have to face that realization again.
With a deep breath, you plunged into Theos' soul, and where, in Brackenbury, it had been a maze of narrow corridors and dead ends, now it is expansive and borderless, its walls crumbling into heaps like the ruins of Angwith as you pass through them. You travel for what seems like ages, rushing to an unknown destination, a memory you glimpsed once before. At last you see it, no more than a pinprick of light at the end of a long tunnel, expanding, slowly at first, then quickly as you near. You come out in the room you are standing in now, but it is new and pristine and filled with people, thousands of them all turned towards the great Audra pillar of the machine that encases it. Theos stands at the machine, and you are one with him now. You look out at the crowd, at the faces of shriveled old men and cherub-cheeked little girls, at mothers bouncing infants to quiet them, and fathers clasping their children's restless hands, watching you with somber acceptance. A woman with tears in her eyes gives you a small nod. You turn back towards the machine, your breaths constricted beneath the weight of unwanted knowledge, preparing yourself to set out alone on a journey without end. You close your eyes and open them again to find the machine still in front of you, beckoning. You take your place in front of it and place your hands upon a large mechanical disc at the base of the great crystal column and speak a single word. Giant rings creak to life, building speed, setting a raise of carved draconic mouths aglow and sending tremors through the platform beneath you. The entire room shakes now with the force of the accelerating machine, all sound drowned out by its deep, deafening thrum. Brilliant tendrils of light arc outward from the pillar in all directions, and you look over your shoulder to see them engulfing the crowd, burning them brightly like hot iron. One by one, the tendrils disappear, leaving ashen effigies where people once stood. Many of them disintegrating into gray heaps under the stress of the tremors. You look above to the Audra pillar, and a glowing spherical mass has begun to coalesce atop the column. Where the arcs converge, it grows and pulses, translucent and bulbous like some immense chrysalis suspended in slow rotation, as though it were being spun from the arcs of light. When the last disappears, the spectral mask hangs a moment, no longer rotating, so bright you must shield your eyes with an outstretched hand, and it seems as though it's looking at you. You bow your head in acknowledgement and look back up to see it melt into the pillar like warm candle wax. The pillar flares with a flicker, with a flash of light, bright as the sun itself, then fades to darkness. The machine slows down to an abrupt halt, and when the last echo of its grinding cog has passed, the chamber is still, and you are alone. From all sides, reality begins to bleed in through the memory, and you find yourself in your own skin, once more looking down on Theos' lifeless body. You sense a listlessness to Theos' soul, an overwhelming fatigue that hinders its immediate escape and makes it vulnerable to manipulation. You feel as though your victory has given you some kind of hold over it, and you are able to do with it as you please. You've caused me great suffering, Theos. You do not deserve to exist. You reach out for his soul, and you can feel its frailty, its texture like a coarse and threadbare cloth. You insinuate yourself between the threads, pushing the weaving apart, unraveling the stitching until it is bereft of structure, a formless heap bound together by nothing at all. In its midst, you dedicate your focus to a single idea, and the idea is shatter. You concentrate, and as you concentrate, you feel a force building within your soul, an outward pressure that strains against containment, threatening to rupture your spirit. When you contain it no more, you transfer it into Theos' soul and release it, a detonation of will that expands in all directions, driving out the remnants of his essence, scattering it into nothingness. In the stillness that follows, a single word echoes through your mind, a word you spoke when you were one with Theos in an ancient memory. You realize it is the word that activates the machine.
Well?
As you approach the machine, the path underfoot suddenly changes to a cobbled road. If you hadn't experienced visions like this already in Tyr Everon, you'd be tempted to believe that the machine had sucked you into it and deposited you in the middle of nowhere. The sun blazes overhead, and the rolling meadows and thick forests on either side of the road could be anywhere in the Direwood. A shrill cackle turns your head. Standing next to you is a malnourished man clad in a threadbare loincloth and manacles. His entire body is stripped with lash marks, and there are scarred pits where his nose and ears should be. He stinks of stale sweat and unwashed filth. You notice someone wandering down the road, but the figure's back is to you. The scarred slave has your attention for now.
I have observed you, Watcher. You came to this land merely because it was here for the taking. And why should you question what was given to you, or whom it was taken from? This is the natural order of Kith, gods and civilizations. You have labored at the pleasure of others. That shriveled hag in Hadrat House, those pompous deer wooden zealots, the wretched tribesmen playing out their fantasies of grandeur. And then you cowered and knelt before the gods themselves, begging one paltry favor and receiving riddles and visions in response. And now the gods give you orders and commands, even while you set out to fix what they cannot. Yet what have they offered you? The exiled queen is not an ungrateful patron.
You get a better look at the lone figure and realize she's wearing robes tattered and singed, but fine. On her head is a broken crown. She continues walking, her pace slow but determined.
Finish the work Theos began. Strengthen Woodica with these souls and allow her to become the most powerful of all the gods, with you as her favored.
I've been working against Woedica this whole time. Why would she thank me now? Loyal and weak. Theos proved his inadequacy when he failed to anticipate you. A plan exposed is worse than none at all. But you've proven resourceful, equal to the schemes of gods. Boudica has a long memory watcher for both friends and foes, and she keeps her oaths. The recipient of Boudica's blessing, she has always had a place for the mortals of a particular merit. It will help. If you help her now, she will become the most powerful, and you will be the one who made her so. Think of the lifetimes of rewards you would reap. Hoping Boudica would mean that the secrets of the gods stay hidden. Safely hidden, yes. From the violent overlords who would cease to fear punishment in the next life. From the heavy-handed masters who would answer to none. The world needs some schemes. Or are the souls of kids so pure that you would snap the tenuous threads that bind society? I like this not, but I know the power of a good tale, of belief in something larger than ourselves. The people of Anguith gave up their souls freely to prove it. Perhaps he has a point. I have explained the alternative, Watcher. Continue as the pawn, or continue as a partner? Sure. It's a deal.
And one you will have many lifetimes to relish. Remember it when you approach the machine.
Guidance boon. Your flesh burns and blackens, and scalding fluid fills your veins. You tear at your roasting skin, but peeling away the scorched layer does nothing to relieve your agony. At last, the sun completes its descent, leaving you in darkness. When you come to your senses, you're in front of the machine, uninjured but filled with new power. Strengthen the stealth index. With your companions bearing witness, you step up to the machine, where Theos once stood before his people. The great machine in front of you lies ready. You understand how it works. As a watcher, it would be a simple matter to influence that direction, though as big as it is, it may be the last thing you ever do. Activate the machine. There's a shrieking of stone grinding against stone. As old cogs loosen and begin to turn, you've only moments before the souls will be sent into the Audravade. This will be your only chance at redirecting them. Send the souls to the reincarnation cycle, return the souls to the bodies they were intended for, entropically disintegrate the souls, ending their existence, distribute the existing souls, the essence to existing souls in Direwood to strengthen them, allow the souls to pass through to Boudica, or disperse them randomly. Well, whenever we were doing the bit where we had to choose a god, Boudica was actually the one I felt my character most aligned with, and I wanted to choose, but it wouldn't let me. So, allow the souls to pass through the vein to Boudica. You close your eyes and expand your perception outward, taking in the immense totality of the tens of thousands of souls orbiting the chamber. Your grasp on the souls is tenuous. You find yourself fighting to keep them all within your influence, and you can feel them slipping away from you as the machine gains speed. A brief moment comes when it feels as though you hold all of them at once, and their force is so great that it feels as though they will tear you apart. In that moment, you dedicate your entire being to bending their orbit, channeling their flow in a new direction.
At your command, the ancient device became your instrument, spinning to life with deafening resonance and gathering up the swirling essence like thread on a great spindle. There, in the pale pulsing glow of the machine that set you on this path long ago, you summoned all your strength, focusing on your objective and blocking out all else. With a single concussive blast that rocked the chamber and sent you tumbling to the ground, you freed the souls from their stasis. Exhausted, your consciousness slipping away, your last sight was of the machine, dark and dormant. Then your eyes closed, and sleep welcomed you at long last. After coming to and searching for some time, you discovered the route Theos used to enter Sun in Shadow, and embarked on a long and arduous ascent back to the surface. You emerged in Ter Evron after days of tunneling through the rubble Theos had left behind, and when you stepped into the daylight, you were faced with a different Deerwood than the one you had left. At your direction, the goddess Woodica ultimately received the empowerment she had sought, albeit not in the manner she had expected. The swirling souls held captive in Sun and Shadow were swept into the great Adra pillar there, sent barreling down through the world's veins to places unknown to mortal sight. Though no word would reach your ears of their arrival, by the time you would return to Twin Elms, word had spread of a miracle on their burial isle, and pious Glenfathans were already streaming in from all over to observe the statue of Woodica there, its once broken crown, now fully restored. But for Dyrwood itself, the last hollow birth had come and gone, and the country celebrated the lifting of Wydwin's legacy none the wiser as to what future costs its end might hold. The loss of the souls you had promised to Entropy would be no setback to Remergand, nor to Andra, for the Beast of Winter trudges ever forward, and the will of the Lady of Lament is as unstoppable as the tide. In Dyrwood, the weather quickly chilled. Unseasonable frosts destroyed the year's harvests before giving way to the coldest winter in memory. Many who survived the famine would soon freeze to death in their own homes. The oceans proved no safer. A barrage of squalls pounded the harbors along the Dyrwooden coast for months, sending many ships to be forever lost in the depths of Andra's domain, either mourned or forgotten, both to the lady's liking. With the birth of his hollow-born child, the last threads of Lord Radric's sanity frayed and broke apart, his wife the first victim of his wrath. With a fortress to protect him and a garrison of loyal soldiers at his command, he continued to snuff out all signs of resistance from the citizens of Gilded Vale, real or perceived. In the end, all would hang from the boughs of the village's trees, watching over their dead town with vacant eyes. Following the assassinations of Duke Avar Wolfgren and Lady Webb, Defiance Bay was thrown into political upheaval. In the ensuing weeks, the streets had become the domain of looters and blackguards. Few dared to step outside their own doors alone or unarmed. But once the dozens had regrouped in the wake of the riots, they quickly put an end to the criminal activity, patrolling the streets in droves and administering their brand of law on any perceived offenders. They also took the opportunity to depose the weakened Knights of the Crucible from their position of authority, branding them traitors to the people for their actions during the riots. Whatever knights weren't stoned to death in front of their keep were forced into exile. The external contingent of knights stationed at Fleetbreaker Castle would remain there, their high justice plotting the city's recapture. The dozens would soon find themselves overwhelmed by the problems of a leaderless metropolis, and in the days and months ahead, Defiance Bay remained on the brink of collapse. Though the machine atop Ter Noaneth had been disabled, it had not seen its last use. Heritage Hill was rebuilt, and no sooner had the first families moved in to resettle the district than members of the Leaden Key, acting under standing orders from their Grand Master, climbed the tower and reactivated the machine. The initiates slew a handful of the new settlers under cover of night, and watched as history repeated itself, the victims reanimating and devouring the survivors. After this second incident, the district would remain abandoned. The Duke's assassination at the apparent hands of an Animancer had caused catastrophic rioting in the streets of Defiance Bay, and few Animancers survived the first day. Many Dyrwoodens took the end of Wydwin's legacy as a sign, both that the gods did not approve of Animancy, and that the purging of Animancers in Defiance Bay had been enough to satisfy them. In time, their rage would subside, and a number of surviving Animancers remained in and around Defiance Bay, often taking to the wilds to practice their science without repercussions. The fortress of Cadnua emerged as a bastion of security in the midst of an untamed land, becoming the envy of every Thane and Earl in Dyrwood. Legend grew over time of its impregnability, and stories of formidable invaders easily scattered by the keep's defenses became popular around the hearths of Dyrwoodenians. Likewise, it also became a beacon to travelers, merchants, and visiting dignitaries alike. Reputed as the finest fortress in all Dyrwood, people would journey from near and distant lands alike to experience its fabled hospitality and grandeur. When the dust settled in sun and shadow, Aloth looked upon the remains of Theos Ix Arcanon, his former master. He saw where the Grandmaster had gone wrong, and he knew what he would do better. The secret of the gods would be preserved, and with it, the sanity and well-being of all Kith. He donned the remains of Theos' ceremonial garb, and prepared himself for the long and lonely task ahead. After all that he had learned in the Watcher's company, Kana Rua could no longer see meaning in his pursuit of the Tanvi Oratoa. He decided to leave what remained of it within the depths of the Endless Paths and return home. Kana bid the Watcher farewell and sailed back to Rawatai, spending the tempestuous journey reflecting on the time he had lost to the pursuit of falsehoods. His family found Kana much changed, his fiery excitement replaced with a weary solemnity. Determined to change his wandering ways, Kana took up a quiet life as a lorekeeper at the college, teaching young students the traditions of their people. For you, the death of Theos brought an end to your waking visions, and a silence to the whispers of the past. In their absence, you were able to sleep. The questions of a distant lifetime ceased to trouble your soul. All that remained was what to make of the answer. But at the moment, there was little to be done, and the matter would have to wait. A long journey loomed ahead.